Hello, hello. Welcome to our Narrow Road podcast, where I, Amanda Williams, your host, and Avery Williams, your co-host, are living out a countercultural life, and we're inviting you to join us. We're so glad you're here.
Hey everybody, I am back with what I promised would be the most awesome episode of our Marriage Matters series. This is episode 3 and our final episode for now, and I have the Jeff Chelta, but I even have something better. His wife, Lisa, my mom, is with him as well. You guys want to say hi to everybody?
Hello.
Hi.
Make sure I can see your mic working. Say hello again. Hello. We've already started this once, and then we had a little problem like usual. This is getting to be a tradition here. So, okay, so if you guys want to tell us a little bit about how long you've been married and maybe what you do for a living now, and then we'll kind of jump in.
Well, I'm Lisa, the mom. We've been married 47 years. June 2nd, it will be 48.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I clean houses for a living with 2 wonderful people.
Our best
2 friends. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we have wonderful clients. We love them. We love cleaning. And I always tell everybody I feel like I'm retired. I exercise for 3 hours every morning, and then I have the rest of the day off. So I love it.
I'm Jeff, the dad, and I work at Iowa State University for around 45 years, and I am a lay pastor at Williams, at St. Paul's Lutheran Church for 13 years.
Very cool. And if any of you guys have listened for long, you know about the 3 youngers that we adopted. Jordan is 13 this year. So he was born the year that my mom and dad started at the Williams Church. And by way of all of the places they lived, they ended up in Williams, Iowa. They actually have known my parents 6 months longer than they've known us. And so that's a really cool God story, how God brought you guys there. So that's really cool. And we love the Williams Church. They're our second family. So anyway, just kind of a fun fact. So what we're going to be talking about is, I thought since you guys have been married, we'll just say 48 years. You guys have been around the block a time or two. You know a little bit more than the rest of us. And so we wanted to just talk about maybe how marriage has changed over the years. We know that marriage is hard work. It's a joy, but it's hard work. It doesn't just happen. And so we thought you might have some tips and tricks for us. And like I tell everybody, there's no formulas. There's just, rhythms and things you put in place, your faith and things like that. And I know we'll get into that a little bit more. So why don't you guys tell us how you met and how this all came about? How I was brought here. Just kidding.
Well, I had a very good friend that I hung out with, and she was dating Jeff at the time. I don't know why it didn't work out with them, but then I just swooped right on in. Thought I would just take over.
I figured I'd be nice and take her out once or twice and make her day and move on.
Sure.
Well, I had signed him up for a school dance. He was going to attend with me, and my great-grandmother had passed away. I'd gone to the funeral. I came home. I was feeling a little blue. Got a phone call that he said he did not want to go to the dance with me, and never really gave me a reason. I said, well, you have to. I've signed you up. And he said, well, you'll have to unsign me. So that's kind of how that ended before it started again. Share that.
Yeah, Dad, why don't you tell us a little bit about why would you not want to go to a dance in high school when you're out of high school?
The dance, there was, I've not even been able to understand it myself. There was just something about Lisa that I describe it as she made sense to me when other girls weren't. And so I was scared, I think. And so, and I mentioned this it was very, very important to me because it was at halftime of the Steelers football game when I made this call. But no, it was just really, and I remember even after I hung up the phone, going back in the room going, what did you just do? It was really weird. I really can't explain why I did what I did. But we were apart for almost a year, months anyway. And then when I saw her at Casey's, the old Casey's that was at the west end of Main Street, she was there in her white shorts and her orange shirt.
Your favorite color.
I just remember I'm going to marry her. That's what I remember telling myself. And I didn't talk to her. So then I had to go find a high school kid in our neighborhood and say, go find out if Lisa Chelta has a dance.
It'd be Lisa Rue.
Rue has
of yours yet.
This has a date for the dance. So.
And when he asked me if I had a date for the dance, I assumed he was wanting to ask me. So I sent. And I was thinking, I really don't want to go to the dance with you. But I didn't want to tell him that. So I just said, no, I did not have a date to the dance. So then he went back to Jeff.
Yes. So then I called and said, hey, I hear you need a date for the dance.
And I was just like jumping up and down, screaming inside because I thought he was so cute. And he finally came back to us. I didn't want him to know that. And I'm like, why do you want to take me to the dance now? You didn't want to before. So.
But we got it worked out. And we went to the dance.
What did you guys wear? Do you remember your colors or anything? Or was it not like that back then?
I wore corduroy. It was a beigey corduroy pants with a sweater.
Oh, you didn't wear dresses?
No, not to homecoming.
Oh,
this was a homecoming.
okay.
Homecoming?
Yeah.
Oh. What'd you have on, a leisure suit or something?
No, you wore jeans and
I would have wore jeans.
Okay.
like a button-down shirt.
Oh, nice. Did you guys have to match colors, or is that just the...
No, that's just you.
Oh,
that's just
new
a
generation.
thing,
Yeah.
You just had to look nice for each other.
Yeah.
And I'll ask the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. Was he a good dancer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He liked to dance the whole time where I would just sit down and watch.
She was the one who sat down.
Was she a good dancer?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
What kind of dances did you do back then?
Fast and slow.
Fast, that's what they were called.
Just
Fast and
dance,
slow, really?
dance. Yeah. That's
Oh
what we
my
did.
goodness. Huh.
Yeah.
So no like
No,
line
two-steps,
dances
no
or
No line dance.
what am I thinking of? It's in PE. You
1978.
learn. I know, but what do-si-do, those
The
kinds.
polka and square dancing.
Square dancing. Did you do any of those kind of things?
No.
No, we're still
Okay.
kind of coming out of the hippie stuff. You know?
Oh yeah.
A lot of rock and
You
roll.
just, you just moved.
Okay. Just kind of vibed.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we
funny.
moved. We didn't.
Crimson
vibe.
and Clover,
We-
I believe, was the name.
Oh, I know that song.
Everybody was dying
Classic
to
rock.
slow dance to Crimson and Clover.
Oh, they do have some good music in that era.
I just mentioned there's a modern TV commercial just the other day, and what music do they have? Classic rock.
It is
The
classic
music
for
today
that
is
reason.
terrible.
Yeah.
I know. Well, you know,
But
and
I'm-
then, well, you think of like in my day, the oldies were like the 50s. Well, now the oldies are like the 70s.
70s, I know.
And my music is, I don't even know.
It's coming.
I
Will
think
be old too.
Well, I'm,
Or is this
I'm-
the
I'm
classic
pretty
maybe now? I don't
sure
even know.
50 years from now, you ain't going to be dancing to MC Hammer.
no, I don't think
He's
so.
not going to be on the radio.
It's not going to be one of those
Classic
that
rock is still gonna be
transcends time. Probably so. Okay, so take us from that. So you go on you like each other, you do a couple dates,
Oh,
you
wow.
dump her.
So the date
A
the
whole
date was
year
in
later.
September. We got engaged in December.
My.
Got pregnant in February.
You graduated in May.
Got married
I got
in June.
fired from my job the day of your graduation.
Yes, which housed us.
My job provided our utilities, my house. I only had to pay for my gas and my vehicle and my phone. So it wasn't just getting fired, it was losing everything. And I had drank up all of our money, so there was nothing, no savings. There was no such thing as that. So then, graduated in May, married in June.
I turned 18 in August, and then Amanda was born in November.
Well, it was a big year for you.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Not recommended.
Never do that. If anybody out there is listening that thinks they'd like to get married at 17, don't. Getting married at 17. I don't know if
Okay, well, we'll get into that a little bit more too, and you can kind of share your thoughts. Okay, so what did you guys think marriage would be like when you first got married? Was it like, were you excited to get married? Did you feel pressured because you were pregnant? Were you planning to get married anyway?
We were planning to get married.
We were planning to get married, and we talked about maybe changing the dates, and just my attitude was, no, I'm going to make the ladies count. I'm not going to change the date. And so just being...
we left everything.
My mom and dad loved each other. Dad worked, Mom stayed at home until we went to school, and then she worked at the bank, but she was still always home when we came home from school. They got along. I did not really see them argue or fight. You have your little bad day,
little
but
tiffs.
nothing. But yeah, so I I had one brother. We had just a normal family. My dad was a hard worker. I think we had 2 vacations in my entire life.
Okay.
So a vacation for Dad was, luckily, he got to spend 2 weeks at home working on the house and stuff.
Gotcha. Kind of like around here.
There's a lot of logic in your family.
Yeah.
In my family, there was no logic, and it was all fun. And so we camped every weekend. We fished. We did lots of fun things.
Played
Just
games.
Sporadic. We'd go for car rides on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
We did lots of family, games and things like that. So I assumed when I got married, that's what it was going to look like.
I don't play games.
This
No, he
child
doesn't.
play games, learn how to cook macaroni and cheese and eat. I don't know.
And if you do play games with Jeff and you can't beat him, then he's fine with that, even if you're like 4.
Yes, yes.
He doesn't care.
That's right. And he doesn't camp.
Nope.
He doesn't like to ride bikes. He doesn't eat food with flavor.
No,
So
I tried camping.
it was a little different.
No spices on the food.
Nothing that I thought it would be.
Very Norwegian.
Yeah. Very logical.
So, Dad, what did you think the cooking was going to be like when you got married?
I like we were talking about earlier, I just did not think about stuff like that.
You didn't have like
then.
hopes or dreams about it.
No.
you lived alone, so you cooked. You had a...
Yeah.
That's true. You were out of the house a bit.
Well, left hamburger helpers cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
But I just did not think back then. I just loved life, and I just having fun.
Okay.
And so...
Did you find yourself easily disappointed then?
No.
Or you were just fine with whatever? Okay.
I'm fairly easygoing on one hand. On the other hand, I'm very intense and passionate. But
Depending on what it's about?
yeah, I was just
Fine with whatever.
I was just loving life. I feel bad for kids today. I keep telling the kids at youth group that, man, I just tell your teacher the dog ate my homework, and big deal. Kids are stressed out and full of anger. They're so. I loved life. I just loved life.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have any expectations, I guess. I assumed it'd be like our parents, but I didn't realize it takes years and years of hard work to get to that place.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Okay, and then for you, did you feel like disappointed then when it didn't look like how you thought?
Well, no, because, then we had a child, and I was the oldest of 4 children. And so I felt like I was mature and, able to take care of a child. But it's just all the other things that went with it, like the cooking, the cleaning, the trying to get a part-time job because everything was expensive. I didn't realize, the amount of finances involved. But yet wanted to have fun and do all the fun things. And we did fun things. It wasn't like he was boring or anything.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. If it snowed, we'd still go out and, do donuts.
I remember that even as a young...
His mom and dad would be, now that's not logical.
it's fun. We did do board games back there for a period of time when there was married couples. If we used to have, we really, and some people listen, we really used to have blizzards.
I know. I've seen pictures.
Feet of snow, and you knew they were coming. So your sister and her husband would drive up from Des Moines to get snowed in intentionally. The neighbors in the trailer court would come down, and the guys would all sit in the kitchen playing Risk, and the girls were in the living room doing something else. And by 3:00 in the morning, the dice are flying around the room, and people are yelling and hollering because you just lost your countries. And so we did play board games some, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. Yeah. I think we did a little bit of that when we first got married, but it's just not like that too much anymore.
No.
Not a lot of getting together to play games. We should do that more. That sounds like a relaxing time. Okay, so over 47 years, I'm sure that you guys are different people now than you were then. What kind of things have you seen change? I mean, obviously there's a lot of time in there, but what are some of the main things that you've seen change from the beginning until now?
Well, just the biggest thing is just Jesus in our lives.
Yes.
And I grew up in the church, And I tell all the kids in confirmation, I wanted to connect the dots and I just couldn't. So I wanted to believe in God. I knew he was there. I just couldn't connect the dots really well. So that got us into trouble early on in our marriage. It got me into trouble.
Now, when you say connecting the dots, is it like I know all of this knowledge, but I don't know how it pertains to me?
Yeah, I never doubted there was a God or Jesus, but I just couldn't figure out how it worked with everyday life.
Okay.
And I think that's the problem that we have a lot in the church, and we educate people with knowledge, but we don't. It's a relationship. And we just kind of miss that, I think. So the relationship with Jesus changed everything. And I was in the process of destroying everything before that. So that's the biggest change. As far as your mom, I just tell people I wish people could have seen her at 17 and then see her now. They would swear she was two different people. She was so quiet. We'd go out on dates and she wouldn't eat. Got home.
Mom, we know you love your macaroni.
Yes, I do.
But I was so mad after we'd get married because neighbors they treated her terrible. They'd walk all over and she wouldn't say a word. Wouldn't say a word. And now it's not that she never shuts up, but she can
stand up
talk.
for herself.
She knows how to talk, communicate. She knows how to not stick up for herself, but she knows how to handle situations.
There is change
now.
when you have Jesus.
Yeah.
There is a change. You find out who you are.
So why were you so quiet? Were you kind of bashful, or you just didn't know what to say?
I was always worried about what people thought.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't sound very smart.
Oh.
She won't say the right words, or she doesn't know what to say, or she doesn't look pretty, or when you're 17, you think about it, you're still trying to figure out who you even are. Your brain isn't even working properly yet because you're not 25.
Yeah. It hasn't developed fully.
Yeah. So there's that too. The change is maturity, but my maturity came through Christ. So, yeah, I
because just being a part of your side of the family, they're not quiet people.
No.
So do you think, were you like a wallflower in your family, or was everybody kind of quiet?
No, I was the quiet one.
Okay.
More quiet than any of them.
Okay.
Maybe because I was more worried about what Mom and Dad would think of me.
So you just thought, if I don't say anything at all, I can't look dumb, or I can't say the wrong thing, or make a mistake.
Yep.
Okay. And so then how did that change? I know Jesus, and then how did you...
Well, I know you don't blame me for part of it, but when I came to Jesus, it was a complete change. I hit the floor at work, sobbing like a baby, and I literally felt dirt coming off of me as I stood up, and I knew I was a different man standing up than hit the floor. And I came home that first night, dug through my bookshelves to find my old Bible, and I crawled into bed with my Bible instead of pornography. It was a change. And I read my Bible. I got a pocket New Testament. I would read it at work whenever we had a break or whatever. And so then we got involved in the church. And I signed up. They had a sign-up sheet for stuff. So I checked. I would be a Sunday school teacher for junior high or high school, which is absolutely hilarious. Because I went to high school for social reasons only. And I remember showing you my report card because I still had it. And there are red marks all over that thing. And I'm convinced to this day that I graduated because nobody wanted me back.
They didn't want to keep you around any longer, just let him go.
Turns into a convict, that's fine, but we don't want him back. So to sign up to be a Sunday school teacher, that's even God's sense of humor, because I had no love for school. But when I started doing that, then I just assumed that she was coming with. And so, because even then we did everything together. And that's one thing that's different about us and other couples, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but we pretty much literally do everything together. We were shopping yesterday, and I'm very much in touch with my female side, so I don't mind shopping. But there was a guy he was in one of those big monster trucks parked next to our car. He was sitting in there. We went in, we were shopping, we were doing all our stuff, and we came back, and about the same time, a girl crawled into the truck, and they drove off. he wasn't going in. He's on his. We were always together, but I just drug her with, and it was almost like she was forced to talk, because I made her touch. I made her teach Sunday school when I had to work on those weekends.
Oh, Mom.
She was my substitute Sunday
Favorite
school teacher.
thing.
I think it was I was willing to do those things. I just was not sure of myself.
Sure.
So I would just not do it. Then I wouldn't fail or be looked upon as, well, she didn't do that very good. If you just don't do it, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think deep inside, I wanted the challenge.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kind of drew you out.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't think it didn't cause fights. So I probably wasn't observant enough, because I was pretty self-absorbed about this Jesus thing and me being used by him. So I probably wasn't very in tune with her if she was struggling. She just came along.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And so I assumed everything she loved it as much as I did.
That's funny. Okay, well, that's a good way a good segue into the conflict topic. What did conflict look like with you guys before Jesus, after Jesus, and then even now after all of these years together? Would you say?
Before Jesus yelling and screaming and stomping out.
Even you, the quiet.
That's the passionate side of me. I'm a debater. I argued with my dad every day of my life. Literally, that's not an exaggeration.
I remember.
And so Lisa was very quiet, so if she got mad at me, I would get the silent treatment. Well, I would literally follow her everywhere in the house and just kept badgering her until she just exploded. I was going to make her talk, because she was going to talk.
And my parents never yelled and screamed at each other. I never witnessed that.
Mine didn't either.
No, but I would go to your house and you would yell at your dad. Your dad would yell at you, and I would be like, "What in the world going on?" And so there was always that going too.
When you have two men in the room that know everything and they're never wrong, it causes problems.
And you call it debate, and then you say argue, and those are two different words in my book. But when you were arguing with me, it was debating.
Yeah.
But then when you're, I don't know, the whole thing. I just was.
So it felt like an argument to you.
Yes.
He wanted to work it out, so he was debating you, or trying to bait you to talk or
That's
something.
what he says.
You can't work out if you won't talk, so I was making her talk.
Making her so mad that she.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's why I talk now, because I just don't have the energy to debate.
Okay, so before Jesus, yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
And I know there was some alcohol involved.
Yes.
Yeah, we could debate.
Drinking. Yeah.
And
Going to
then,
different bars and parties. And
Yep.
did you guys both go together to those things too?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
We
who
did.
watched me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they lived 7 trailers down, and they were more than happy to take you at any time, day or night, and they did.
Yeah.
So
That's good. You got a little bit of your childhood back.
yes, a little bit.
Okay, so you guys did all those things, and then Jesus comes into your life. Had he changed you yet? Or had
No,
you?
not yet.
Okay.
We decided we were going to. Well, your dad decided we were going to go to a Dallas Home and Praise.
Well, first our two friends.
We didn't know that at the time.
But they didn't. We were supposed to meet them one night and go
This
out
was
to the
after.
Gilbert.
It was after the Dallas Home and Praise concert.
Okay.
We'd gone, and I accepted Jesus sitting in my seat, and I didn't know they had.
Oh.
So it was after that.
Who were you with at this concert? Just Dad?
Was it Lou and Jane Jensen?
Yep, Lou and Jane were with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, I found out after all of that.
I didn't know how to. I grew up as a Lutheran, and so you're baptized, confirmed, and your faith is kind of personal. So I didn't know how to verbalize that I had been saved or had this experience with Jesus. I just started acting differently.
Sure.
Lou and Jane she was Catholic, and I don't remember what he was, but so again, they didn't know how to verbalize what had happened in the evangelical language.
Right.
And so it was just, hey, we don't feel like going to the bar tonight. We don't either. And so then through conversations, we just figured out that, hey, we all know Jesus.
We were all Christians, and somebody started a Bible study in Gilbert, Lou and Jane. We all got together and started doing Bible study.
Wow.
And that's where it all changed.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And how old were you at this time? Do you remember?
Probably 2 years into our marriage,
23.
maybe 3 years.
23 years old, 22.
Okay.
It's in my Bible.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't write down dates.
Okay.
Like you did.
So then then you guys are Christians, so now you're changing your activities, you're changing
Yes.
who you hang out
Yes.
with, what you're doing with your friends, so now you're in God's Word.
Yeah.
And then where did things go from there? Because I know then you're a pastor now, so how did we get...
Youth ministry.
Yeah, the signing up for the Sunday school teacher then led to Luther League sponsors. Which
What does that mean for anybody that might not know?
Instead of like youth group or whatever most churches have, they just called theirs Luther League.
Okay.
And so sponsors were the volunteer
Youth leaders or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
the volunteer leaders. And so Lisa and I started doing that, and with a few other couples, and that we started doing things that were unusual for Luther League. Like we started having Bible studies with kids outside of the Wednesday night or Sunday night whenever we met.
Right.
We started doing some different things that were unusual at that time anyway for that particular group.
We did lock-ins. We went to Lutheran
Lock-in.
Evangelistic Movement, which they called LEM up in Minneapolis. We take weekends,
retreats,
to do these retreats. That was abnormal because normally they just stayed in the church, had games and Sunday school.
And so one of the first groups. So that's in the mid '80s. And I was texting last night with one of the kids about the Iowa game from that youth group.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So there's some neat connections from that, neat memories.
And we were close to their age, too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
We were only a few years
So,
older.
yeah, it was fun.
And I remember being hauled around to some of those things, and I just thought it was the best thing ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those kids loved on me. They gave me their Twinkies and their pop and made up nicknames for me.
Yeah, once you got old enough that we didn't need a sitter, you were with us at all those things. So
Yep. Yeah, so we did a lot of together stuff.
So we did that, and then there was some things going on in the Lutheran Church at that time caused us to need to leave, and so then we went to a non-denominational church, which we found out was a bunch of renegade Lutherans that had also left, and they were headed up by a Southern Baptist pastor.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty interesting. But we started a youth ministry there. We volunteered there for several years. And then we ended up in Story City, didn't we?
Be free. Yep.
Yeah. So Story City E-Free planted in October of 91. And we were not in the 6 core families planting it, but we were close around that group. And so we were there the very first Sunday, started a youth ministry there, and we're there for 13 years. Went to Cornerstone for 4 years and did youth ministry, and then started transitioning kind of more into adult groups too. Kids are more fun than adults for the most part. And then while we were at Cornerstone, got the phone call from my aunt. It was my uncle's home church, and he had 2 brothers still going to that church. And they needed somebody to fill the pulpit on the Sunday after Christmas of 2012 and the Sunday of New Year's on 2013. So I said I would do those 2 Sundays, and I never left.
It's so cool.
So
Yeah, but during that time, I feel like maybe there was some stress in that, Amanda was getting older and more involved in different things, school activities and things like that. And we were still doing a lot of youth ministry. If we weren't in the church, then we were taking tickets at ball games and track meets and whatnot to try to stay involved with her and her friends. I feel like there were times when I felt like this is all I do. I just do youth stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I have my own life.
Right.
And so I think there were lots of times we had conversations about that. Lots of discussions. Because I felt like Jeff didn't really think about, where I was in all of this.
Correct.
Because I was busy helping.
Yes.
And I was glad to help, but at the same time, what else could I do? And so that was kind of something that maybe would have caused some
conflict.
Yeah. Because you're doing good things and you want to do good things, but at the same time, it's like I'm a person in this too, and I'm more than just following Jeff around doing youth ministry or being a mom. I kind of felt like I was lost, not in a bad way, but just it's just a different way to think, and it just happened to be where I was in my life at that time.
Yeah. I was going to say, a lot of times people do say, what are the anchors that held you together, And it sounds like Jesus, ministry, all of those things held you together. But like you're saying, there can be too much of a good thing too.
Right.
So balance is always good.
Yes,
and so how did you guys find that balance then? I mean, obviously you probably had to communicate, and you're talking now. You're sharing. Yeah. So that's good. So did that feel, Dad, to you like a death of part of, what made you feel alive, or did you agree? How did you guys work through that?
It was probably more difficult for me to hear that, just because, like I said, I'm out front, I'm doing the talking, I'm doing the leading, and I'm having a great time. Again, I'm just having a great time. And I can't believe why somebody else wouldn't want to have a great time. Hey. The laundry will get done, the whatever, And so, that was hard on me. And I probably didn't handle it very well at first.
Well, what happened was...
Spilled the beans.
We ended up getting into an adult group. So then I would have adult conversations.
Sure.
And remember, I was 18 when this all started, so I didn't have a lot of friends to talk to because they were going to college. The moms that were in my group were in their late 20s, early 30s. So those were the people that I went to. So during that time, then I didn't have a lot of my people.
Sure.
So we ended up getting involved in adult small group, along with the youth ministry. So I felt like, good, this is a place where I can talk and I can share and I can learn and get wisdom from older people or whatever. So I felt like I existed outside of youth ministry.
Right.
So that was fun. I had relationships with older ladies, went and did things with them, and I just felt like then my life was more balanced, I guess.
That's cool. Yeah, and so still, you're still being together.
Yes.
So that's cool. So it seems like that was almost like maybe like an unspoken, I don't know that you guys ever sat down and said, we would really like our family culture to be that we're together a lot.
Right.
But it seems like it was kind of an unspoken, like this is something that's going to drive us. We want to make sure we're still together, doing whatever we're doing. So as you found your way, you took turns doing what the other person wanted to do.
And a lot of times to talk, like if I wanted to talk to your dad, I would, if he was in the bathroom, I'd go in the bathroom when he's in there and shut the door and we'd have to talk. Or if I need to go to the post office, I'll ride with you to the post office, which is 2 blocks away. So that would be 2 blocks of time.
We walked a lot.
And
we walked almost every
I remember
night.
that,
Yeah.
yep. And I remember, so you would always get home from work by 4:30. I was home from school like 3:30, 3:45. You'd be right shortly behind me. And then you guys went into your bedroom or whatever. The door was shut. That was your guys' time to visit. And I was just sitting out in the hallway with the dog, waiting my turn. But there was something almost comforting about it, even though I felt kind of alone. It's like, oh, yeah, there was like something safe and secure about it. Like Mom and Dad are having time to talk.
Yes.
This is good. Yeah, because I never really heard you guys yell and fight and scream and all those things either.
No, I just think the communication is probably, well, you don't think about it at the time, but there was a lot of communication. And there still is to this day, to the point where Jeff looks at me sometimes and it's like, wow, that was a lot of work. It's just like, well, I'm so used to telling you everything that I don't want to stop. I just feel like that's a safe thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Communicate.
Yep.
I think you can't get too much of that. That's true.
Yeah.
And even when I come home now, it's like I sit down. I know you guys are going to talk about your day, and I'm listening in what all has gone on, and it's just part of your guys' routine, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Okay, so is there a moment that you ever realized that marriage is more a choice than feeling? Like, obviously, it sounds like everything went pretty well after you had Jesus in your life, but I'm sure there were hard times. And I don't know. I mean, some people think, oh, I just don't know if I can live with this person for the rest of my life, or maybe you guys didn't have that, but Did you ever have that moment in your mind where like, this is hard, I have to choose to do the right thing here when I sometimes don't want to, or marriage is more
when
about...
you get older, yeah, you probably do have those feelings. I was sharing with you, Vandy, about in cleaning houses, there's a refrigerator in each home, and on each refrigerator from time to time, there's a save the date picture.
Yeah.
And I always look at those people and I think they have no clue. They're gazing into each other's eyes, and, she's got her hand on his chest, and they're so in love. And I think, he's not wearing a CPAP machine. He doesn't have hearing aids. She doesn't know if he really snores. I mean, there are just so many things we don't know about. You don't know how you're going to have to help your spouse, in sickness and in health. What's sickness? I mean, are you helping them in the bathroom? What are you having to do? That does not show. Do they have autoimmune disease?
So they can't eat out anymore.
It's going to change out your eating out experiences.
So to look at those pictures, I just think that if there's so many things that I didn't know, that a lot of people don't know. And granted, there maybe are some that do know because they've lived hard lives, in their younger years. But there's so much growing old that you don't think about. And I think people give up. They don't want to take care of their spouse, or they don't want to have to go through the hard times. They didn't realize that was going to happen, and that wasn't in the cards, so I'm not doing it.
And I didn't sign up for this kind of mentality.
Yeah,
and I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most when I do premarital counseling, is everybody, they got the dress, they got the venue, they've got the caterer, you're putting all of that time and a huge amount of money into one day. And you haven't thought about, what are you going to do when he leaves his dirty underwear on the floor? What are you going to do when she squeezes a toothpaste in the middle of the tube? And that sounds really silly, but it's not when you end up cooped up with somebody in four walls and they're not doing it the way you want it done.
And when you don't know how to communicate about those things, they build and build and build, and then...
And I think, I just don't think anybody understands the seriousness of marriage. And I have to admit, like I said, I had no clue what I was doing. I just about ruined our marriage starting up. But there was one thing that when I was a little kid, I would go back and forth. I'd stay with my grandparents in the summertime for a week or two. And my grandpa raised turkeys. He lived in Ellsworth. His turkeys were on range out in Garden City. So we would ride in the car.
They were free range.
Free range turkeys. And and I'm 7-ish, 7 to 9, 10 in that range, I think. Grandpa, in those days, Paul Harvey was on every day at noon. And so we'd be coming back for lunch, and Paul Harvey would be on. And he's talking about the news and so, but there was one thing that he did on every show, and he recognized a couple that had been married for 70, 80, literally that many years. That's so they probably did get married when they were 17, and they've lived to be 90. It's just, and I remember thinking as a little kid, I want to be on the Paul Harvey show someday. And I said, well, he's going to be dead by then. But I still want that. And even saying that, it put that thought in my mind, but I really didn't know how to do it. And that's why I feel somewhat unequipped to help younger kids figure it out. I really feel like I didn't figure it out as much as, like you said, God found you, or God found the way. And it was, because I didn't have a plan. I'm not a planner. I'm not a goal setter, even though Paul Harvey was a goal. So it's hard for me to communicate to kids, young people, the seriousness and how hard it is to work towards that. Because I feel like I was just kind of blessed. I almost stumbled into it, and God was so gracious and just carried us through. And that's kind of a cop-out to anybody who's listening, going, well, my marriage sucks right now. I wish my husband would communicate. we just did it. We just, like I said, I followed your mom around, made her talk, and then she would yell, and then we learned how to talk out of that. There was something that, and we both came from good homes, so there was something that we knew was a value, even though if we didn't really know how to get to the value, we knew that was the value we wanted.
Yeah.
And so somehow, by the grace of God, we figured it out. I don't know, maybe you have more.
I don't know. I just feel like there was a time when, I think it was a book I was reading, Evelyn Christensen's book, Lord Change Me. That has been an amazing book. If anybody has ever heard of her, you know. But if not, get that book, Lord Change Me. So yeah, when you're focused on maybe the bad things that they're doing or whatever, the things that are bothering you the most or whatever, the question is always, or the comment is always, Lord, change me, instead of help my husband to stop, leaving his clothes on the floor or whatever. No, Lord, change me. How am I going to handle that? What does that look like for me? Or just always complimenting them. I know maybe that's a question later on, but one thing is to always say thank you. Jeff makes the bed every day, and I say thank you for making the bed. Or thank you for going with me to the grocery store. Thank you for running into Target. Thank you. A lot of thank yous, whether you want to say it or not, say it. Because you should be thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lord, change me. I'm not perfect. So what? He leaves his clothes on the floor, or he comes home late, or he's maybe not in the best mood every day or whatever. Well, Lord, change me. How can I look different so that he's not going to stay in that mood, or he'll want to be different. But yeah, and
That's
God
cool.
does. He will change you. So that was one thing that helped.
Yeah,
with.
and I think over the years, as I'm kind of backstepping a little, when you look at Ephesians 5, Paul talks about marriage there, and he uses that nasty S word.
Submit.
For women to submit. But before he starts that, if you really read the line before, I think it says respect one another. And so you submit out of respect for your husband, but women feel like that's second-classing them, or that's knocking them down a notch. And it's not, because then Paul says, but husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. He died for the church. And I look at these guys, I say, how are you going to die for your wife? I would look at a husband now and is struggling. How are you dying for your wife? And again, as men, we get caught up. Another thing I think is the love language book. Love. We all have different love languages. Your mom's love language is tasks. Mine's affection.
Service.
And so if I want your mom to be happy, then I need to accomplish some tasks. And I hate doing tasks. But if I want any affection, I know the tasks need to be done.
That's right.
Because the affection isn't just going to come out of thin air. And so it's understanding what makes your partner feel loved. And so dealing with a person here just recently that they're struggling and just made the comment, I'm tired of coming home and getting yelled at because my socks were on the floor. Pick your socks up.
It's not too hard.
How hard is that? Why do we think the other person is our slave or our servant? Is that how you love somebody? Is you just leave stuff around for them that shows love? I mean, there's so many things that are so easy to fix.
If we humble ourselves.
Yeah, if we just humble ourselves. We think we've got to go to marriage counseling and pay hundreds of dollars and pick up your clothes.
Lord, change me.
Yeah, help
me.
do the dishes. Unload the dishwasher. I don't cook. We don't
We
need
know.
We don't need hamburger helpers, so I'm not cooking. But I try to clean up the kitchen. I try to load the dishwasher. I try to pack the leftover foods in a bowl. I don't go in and sit down and get on my phone or watch TV. There's so many easy things to do if we would just stop and think about somebody else besides ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. And one of the things that stuck out to me right when you were talking, Dad, is that you said, well, I feel like it's kind of a cop-out because it was by the grace of God. But that grace is for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like if
Yeah.
you're listening to this and you're like, oh, things just aren't going well. The grace of God is for you too.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And so there's no formula
No.
of how to get to a good place, obviously. But that was kind of leading into the next part here is just like, what would you tell younger couples that maybe have misunderstandings about marriage? And you've kind of alluded to that a little bit. Or what would you say to couples who feel like they're struggling or drifting apart or fighting all the time, that kind of thing? And maybe it's not even younger couples. It could be families, couples that have been married years and years and years, and they're just like ready to be done. Anything you want to add? I know that you're talking about, speaking to them in the way that they hear love, humbling yourselves, just if they're expressing. I think a lot of times it's like, if the message doesn't come out just right, like if they're yelling at you about your socks, well, I'm not picking up my socks.
Right.
They should talk nicer or something. Yeah. And so I think in our home, and I know you guys probably taught me this, but it just talks in the Bible about this isn't a fleshly battle, it's a spiritual battle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes, like you said, Mom, Lord, change me. It's like changing our perspective.
Right.
Like if this is a spiritual battle, this has nothing to do with us. It's not like we're fighting each other. We're not the enemy.
Right.
Our spouse isn't the enemy. But, Lord, change me spiritually so that I can be, a better spouse. Anything that you guys would want to add to, people that might be struggling, or what could they do? I know you mentioned like sometimes spending a lot of money on counseling is not the way to go.
And I'm not poo-pooing counseling. As you're unpacking all of that again, too, I'm just sitting here thinking, if they're listening to the podcast and they don't believe, then you're left with the world system. And the world system is survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to survive. If you're going to come into the kingdom is sacrifice. The kingdom is sacrificial love. You have two different worldly perspectives, and you don't have to be a believer. You go ahead and fight your struggles and fight your battles, but that you're going to fight your struggles and battles. The grace of God is going to give you, and that doesn't mean it's. Your mom loves playing. What's the game? I actually got your mom set up so that she has earbuds now. So that she can sit on the couch and listen with her earbuds in so that I can hear the TV.
So kind of you. Wow. How selfless and
But she hasn't been putting those earbuds in.
Well, he couldn't hear for a while, which was good.
Well, you're the one that prompted the hearing aids.
So now.
And so it's like last night, the NCAA tournaments are on, and I've got my Bible on my lap because I'm doing sermon prep. This is how I get ready to do stuff. And all of a sudden she goes, well, I have to do my pause app. She just fires that thing up, right? And it's like, come on. Could you shut the TV off? Could you turn the volume down? And I go.
Did you say, well, could you go in the other room?
I wanted to. You learn not to say things that you want to say sometimes.
That's hilarious.
But it's like, but I know she's sitting there trying to do something, and I have the TV cranked up. She goes, could you turn that down? Like, what?
The TV on. He's got his phone on. He's scrolling that.
My phone's got it's got my commentary on it.
Right, and texting and all that is going on. And the computer in his lap if he's doing something on that. And his Bible. All I have is the pause app. Some scripture, some calm.
I don't even know how you could do that with the basketball.
All he has to do is turn the TV down because he's yelling and screaming at the announcers. Just turn that down. Watch. You can still watch. You can scroll your phone. If you can do 14 things over here, you can surely listen to a Bible verse.
The pause app is supposed to be quiet.
That's why I had you turn the TV down.
It's supposed to.
You guys are hilarious.
See, this is how you work things out, folks.
But the thing I want to say about this whole thing is Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So that is the main goal for that. Yes. And so just being aware of that he is coming to steal, kill, and destroy. So everything you're thinking or any behaviors that you have or anything that is going on, he's going to attack that to make it bad. So stay in the Word. Continue to pray. If you're not praying, pray. Lord, change me. Lord, help me. Whatever. And God gives us the ability to work together, to communicate, to make it work. And he can overpower Satan. So, yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, which is one of my spiritual gifts. But if you're not a believer and you're struggling in your marriage, I'm like, how's it working for you? What have you got to lose?
Yeah. So much
that's
to gain.
not a good reason to accept Jesus, but what have you got to lose? Just come and let him change you. And well, but if he doesn't change that's not your problem. That's God's problem.
Yeah.
I remember I had almost destroyed our marriage. When I came up off that floor knowing that I was a new person, I knew I had to go home and confess some things to your mom. And I remember telling God, I have to tell her, and I don't know what she's going to do. And I remember laughing out loud and saying, but I don't care, God. It's your problem now. Even then I knew just to turn it over to him. He's in control. He's in charge. The devil's going to try to destroy us.
Constantly.
And so,
just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Yep. God can overcome anything.
Yes.
Any sin, any offense. Love conquers all sins. It covers a multitude of sins, I should say.
And forgive one another.
Yep.
A lot of people find that hard today, or it's not even in their vocabulary because then they're soft or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
My feelings matter. Yeah,
Right.
they do. So ask God to forgive you.
Yeah.
And that's not taking away the hurt that could have been caused.
No.
Right.
But there's healing that can be done if you're willing.
Right.
To forgive. And that doesn't mean you forget and you don't have things in place to build trust and you don't do the hard work, but it doesn't have to just be over because
It's just
we
another
all make
helpful
mistakes.
tool to
Yes.
have.
No, the hurt is real, the pain is real, the conflict is real, but there's a better way to figure it out.
And when you realize, like, oh, we're not really each other's enemy, we're on the same team. And when you're on God's team, we know the end of the story. Right. We know who wins.
Right.
Our greatest problems are solved when we have Christ as our leader. Well, I know you've mentioned the book, Lord Change Me.
Yes.
You've mentioned the Pause app, which I'm going to also be talking about in April with my recommendations. For me personally, I always like to tell people to watch a couple of movies because I'm a visual person.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen the movie The War Room, that shows hugely how this is not a fleshly battle, spiritual battle. It also gives you like visuals of how you can overcome hardships and offenses and things through prayer. And then also Fireproof.
Yes.
Such a good one. And that deals with, the fighting, infidelity, all the things. And it's just a really great movie just to bring just a visual to how things could be healed or maybe what the Lord can do when you turn over to him. Do you guys have any other resources or anything else that popped into your mind while we were doing this that we could leave people with? Can you think of anything?
Just with some of the stuff that we've talked about, the bickering, the anger, wondering if the grass is always greener on the other side, but it still has to be mowed.
Yep. And watered.
Yep.
And tended to.
And so, and whatever it is in your marriage that is pulling you apart, just remember that you're taking everything of you to the next relationship.
Yeah.
If you don't change, whatever was irritating your spouse or you're taking that with you. If you don't change, if you don't do the forgiving. So I just read all the time, so I can't think of
I guess you said 5 love language books. I forgot about that. Yeah.
The 5 love language. Gary Smalley wrote a book, and I cannot remember the name. I'm trying to rack my brain. That was given to me by my good friend Brent Thomas when I was struggling with my dad. And that was a huge, huge book. I wish I could remember the name of it. I can't.
Well, if you think of it, we could always pop it in the show notes, too. Before we publish this. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah. I'm just reading all the time. I love to read, and now since I found audiobooks, I can read or I can listen and work at the same times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just getting your mind Yeah, not get off the news, get off a lot of the social media, because that's all worldly stuff if you're not on the right channels.
Right.
And so we don't stop and think about it, but my friend Brent Thomas would sit with his kids and watch a 30-minute show or a 60-minute show or even a commercial, and he'd look at them and say, what were they trying to convince you of? What were they trying to sell you? And I ask the kids now, how many 30-minute shows or 60-minute shows do you watch that solve problems in a godly way or recognize God at all?
Yeah.
So it's me, I'm number one, I've got to win, I've got to be happy, I've got to... we keep putting all that stuff in our minds, and then we think if we are Christians, we go to church for an hour and hear a boring 30-minute sermon, that's going to fix things, and it's not.
Right.
We've got to take care of our brains and our hearts. The Bible says to guard your heart.
Yeah, Jordan's in 7th grade, and we'll kind of wrap things up here. Sorry to keep you guys, but he's in 7th grade, and he's learning about fallacies, so much like what you're saying. We can have something going on. He'd be like, hey, that's the assumption fallacy. That commercial, they were assuming, so they got, and it's so cool to see their brains come alive and start to recognize, like, everywhere you go, something is vying for your worship. Like, we were made to worship.
Yep.
We are worshipers. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, you're going to worship something.
Yes.
And so just being careful what you're worshiping obviously is going to dictate your relationships. But, well, I so appreciate you guys doing this. I'm so excited. I'm not sure what day this will drop, but we'll get it over to Avery. But I was going to say, I always want to say, where can people find you? Well, you don't have like a website or, but if somebody did want to talk about marriage or something, would you guys be willing if they got a hold of me?
Yeah.
Can I pass their name along?
We're both on Facebook.
Hey, Facebook.
Yeah. Our church has got a Facebook page and it does have a website. I don't know. Hasn't been used probably in a decade. But
No, when you get on Facebook, there's a lot of St. Paul's Lutheran Church.
I think we are St. Paul's Williams.
Okay, St. Paul's Williams. So yeah, if you maybe aren't a churchgoer, but you want to pop on and just see maybe what a sermon might be like, you can pop on there too. And so anyway, well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been such a joy. And thanks for being my parents. I love you.
Love you too.